G'day everyone, and we are at our last two Robot Masters. Bubble Crab, and he's got arms, which crabs don't actually have. They have claws. It's a bit of a wasted opportunity there. But one thing I want to mention is this soundtrack right here. Just listen to it for a bit. Yes, this song is awesome. They even reused it in Mega Man X5, I assume. As well as they actually redid this whole submarine fight right here, which wasn't that great in X5. But I deviate from the point. The theme for this level is the fact that besides being underground, you sort of have to destroy this submarine, but I take it out pretty quickly. What to do is shoot the fins off, the belly off, and his face off. Because I just want his fins, his belly, everything off. But now that we destroyed the actual submarine so damn quickly, it's actually not that hard. A lot of people have problems with it. But because we have defeated it so quickly, the level is extremely short. And if you know where all the jumps are, you can just do leaps of faith and get through everything so quickly. We're pretty much already at the boss fight. And we also have our screw robots as well, that I don't know how they can defeat us. I guess they can individually take out each bolt of ours off or something, I don't know. But if we have a Phillips head screw bolt, that's probably going to be a bit problematic for him. Again, here we are at our boss fight. God damn, I love this soundtrack. The only good one in this game, to be honest. In my opinion, at least. But that's just my subjective feel. And we have our boss fight, Bubble Crab. Hard boss? Not really if you know what to do. Usually that shield he has is actually pretty tough to get through, but the actual way to beat him is to bait him out, like most fights in this game. If you actually jump above him, he would always take off his shield. So you sort of have to just, jump over all the time. That way you can always have a good shot at him, and don't do what I did just there because I stuffed up. I wasn't paying attention to the water levels. So that's another thing you gotta factor in, the fact that gravity, or buoyancy I should say, changes in this boss fight. But again, if you're doing what I'm doing right now, just being safe, he is no problem at all. He's actually harder to fight with the actual weakness, I believe, because the shots are so slow. But it's alright to just take a few shots here and there because he's not that hard. Lemon shot. If you actually use lemons on your seafood, such as fish and chips, it would actually get rid of the fishy taste in the fish, as well as they used to use the lemons to actually disintegrate the actual bones in the fish. Little known fact there, but that's why they always have a wedge of lemon on the side. And we finally have our last boss. Strangely enough, probably the hardest boss in this, in the initial 8 Robot Masters. This and Flame Stag, in my opinion. And first time playing this, I remember doing this stage first. Wasn't a great idea because I'll get my ass raped. And we also have our optional boss on that side that we can't really attack because I want to do the Zero run at the end. I want to kill Zero. Not because I don't hate the guy, just because, well, he's actually a pretty fun boss. I reckon it should have been better that if you actually do all optional bosses that you actually fight Zero rather than the other way around. But I digress. Deviate from the point, sorry about that. And I was actually going to do a full motorbike run, but I can't be bothered, I realized. I ended up getting just a hard tank anyway. And I don't want that. Just having a look at the time here, defeating 2 robot monster levels in 5 minutes or so. Pretty good speed run right here, if I don't say myself. But here we have a little bit of a twist when it comes to robot fights. We got to beat this missile, and I like jumping on the other side because I don't know. I was actually wondering if the sequence would initiate if I go on the other side rather than, you know, on the left, which I usually always do. But that's just me playing around. I believe that we don't have ostriches in Australia, we have emus, but it doesn't matter because this fight is actually pretty hard. One of the things you gotta worry about is, yes, that attack where he sort of shoots just one sort of fireball at you, I could say. But you'll see here, he always does a bit of a squill there, and he actually does one or two attacks. He does the jumping move or the running move, which can be very hard to actually predict. You sort of have to be on your toes because depending on which one, you have to do either jump or stand still on the ground, which can be a little bit tricky. Again, it's good to get your distance, but if you get too far away from him, he'll do another attack, and he seems to be abusing this rain of fire attack, which I find it really hard to avoid. Shot him in the ass with a lemon. And actually used lemons to treat scurvy, as well as I think lemon and all the citrus elements from lemon and orange were actually used to flavor Mountain Dew. So technically Mountain Dew is citrus flavored. And here we are at the final 3 levels of the game, where you actually see some challenge, some fun. I should call these fun levels. Fun level 1 coming up right now, in the North Pole. And Santa lives there, so why not? It's always got to be fun. Okay, so these levels, just do a whole leap of faith here, just to jump on that platform, just to save time a little bit. And we also have our flathead screwdrivers. And these wall things that we saw in the first level, I think? Yes. Which isn't that hard. Again, I'm pretty much abusing my shoulder button. I use the shoulder button to actually dash. So, as long as you keep on pressing that while you're jumping, you've got no problem. As long as you time it right. It's become such a second nature for me that every single time I jump, I always end up dashing anyway, as you can see. No normal jumps for me, I just reckon it's way too slow. Which gave me a bit of problems when I started playing the classic Mega Man games after this. And yeah, that's a little bit inconvenient, just having these things just push you a little bit further back. Does it actually hinder any performance? No, maybe by a few seconds, but again, not too much trouble. I don't even know why they're there. And slightly trickier jumping puzzles. But this boss is, I reckon, in my opinion, the hardest boss in the game. Reason, in particular, it's because having absolutely no health means that I can't get hit whatsoever. I will get hit 3 times and that's the end. And the hard thing about this boss as well is that you can't predict its movements. So hopefully you won't see me struggle so much. But the thing you gotta worry about, again, a lot of people have problems with this boss when it comes to no armor rushes. Keep fucking moving. If you have a platform like that, as you can see, just keep moving up and down on the wall. Don't go under him. But that's the best way to actually predict his movements, is by baiting him out to an extent. Like, the ball would always go where you are in any trajectory. It's very, very hard. Especially the fact that you can only get hit 3 times. You always have to be moving. And you sort of have to be paying attention to where the ball is. You have to be extremely quick. Like a ninja. See, now you can see me sort of like moving left and right, back and forth, just so I can get the ball to go towards me in an area where I would be safe. But sometimes, depending on the platforms, it can be impossible to actually avoid. So again, this is the hard, I reckon, easily one of the hardest bosses in the game. More so harder than the last boss. Or Zero. Because at least they were predictable. This guy is not, and is too fast. And he hits you in 3 kills. Wait. 3 kills hit you, sorry. And I nearly died again. Ah, there we go. Violen, I hate you. He wouldn't be that hard of a boss if he didn't take off so much damn health, but I can't say anything. I'm the one who got myself into this mess with having no armor. Ding! And here we have Fun Stage Level 2. The not so fun stage, I should say. Because some people think that this part is impossible because you don't have air dash. And we can't charge up our attacks. So how are we going to do this? With high fidelity jumping, and you'll see later. Again, we having all these awkwardly placed tri-robots right here. Try-shooting laser robots. That we wouldn't be able to pass. Because obviously I can't actually get my jumping that narrow in the first place. But again, at least they're not powerful and they sort of drop a lot of goodies here and there. But this is the part where you sort of need your air dash. And do we have that? No. So just jump like a champ. Get it all through. And one of the things I should mention as well is that, yes, I'm playing Mega Man X too, but did you know that this is actually the rarest Mega Man X game you can actually get? As it wasn't released, or was the only one that wasn't released on the PC, excluding obviously X7 and X8. Lucky we have emulators, don't we, boys and girls? And I still like to say that I find this the weakest game in this series. But yeah, I sort of got a little bit lost there. I'm like, where the hell is the platformer? I forgot to realize that you need to crystal shot them. And I was sort of wanting to farm for some health. I usually don't like farming for health, but because I know that this is another incredibly hard boss. And I was just waiting for that crystal to sort of shatter of some sort and give me some goodies, but he didn't like to be so nice to me. And there's another thing, usually I just got a little bit lazy and I just wanted to start using the other weapons in the game. And I never realized just how freaking slow the gator wheel is. But he kills most things in one shot. Not bosses or any mid-bosses, but yeah. Just me testing out all the different moves. I totally forgot what the weapons were like in this game. In terms of actual weapons, besides Mega Man X1, I reckon that X2 has the most useful weapons, I should say. Like, playing the other ones, or playing X3 as well, there was no real useful weapon in terms of using it for enemies. And all my farming has gone to waste, so I'm just going to actually use the boss and die, just so I have full health. I wouldn't risk doing this boss with this much health, because this boss is, I reckon, second to Violen in terms of boss fights. Hi there, serges, or as some fans would say, a reincarnated version of Dr. Wily. And make sure you avoid those jelly beans, because they're very, very hard to avoid. But now that we've got our game on, we've got our full life, and we've got a whole can of Red Bull, let's do this fight. And when I say that can of Red Bull, I literally do mean it, because this boss fight is fucking hard. Not as hard as the Violen fight, because that was pure random. This is purely skill right here. you gotta pay attention to what you're doing. You sort of want to take things in chronological order when it comes to attacking these cannons. Like, you want to take the top one out because you want more platforms in terms of attacking or avoiding those jelly beans. When it comes to this cannon right here, make sure that you're going on a platform that is going down, because that way you will avoid the trajectory of that big spinning sonic boom. It doesn't come naturally, you know, you just want to spam it, but just be very, very frugal when it comes to attacking that cannon. This cannon in particular, you just got to make sure that you're always moving, because it's homing and it's very, very hard to avoid. If you're taking it in this order, it's probably the easiest way to take this guy out. If you're attacking all the cannons all at once, then you're pretty much fucked. And this one I got really lazy, just because I know that all you have to do is just go to the very bottom and attack it, and it will take too much time, so I just use a silk shot, and it's probably the easiest one to get rid of. But after doing that, we are in the home stretch. People find this part bloody impossible, but if you actually follow the rhythm, it's not that hard. Because it always alternates between X shots and T shots, I should say. As long as you pay attention to where the ball is and what the rhythm is, non-stop, it should be pretty easy to avoid. Especially if you're doing what I am and being on the little edge of each platform, so you can sort of transfer between the two. It shouldn't be that hard. And if you actually hide in serges right now, he becomes easier to hit because he's always going to be further down. So you're not hitting his cannon right there and not hitting him at all. But yeah, this is the home stretch right now. A very, very, very hard boss if you don't know what to do. Looks like I did it pretty easy then, but let me tell you, I had to do a lot of practice runs for this. And obviously some people were a little bit upset that they changed the dialogue there. In the Japanese version, usually it gives you a nice little insight that he might be Dr. Wily, and he's the one that repaired and fixed up Zero. Yeah. Okay, so we have the next actual level, but we shall save that later.